Hello, 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 and welcome to Ace's Legacy. How's everybody doing tonight? With me, I have got our good friend, our favorite painter, Les Mandeville of the Underground Painter's Desk.
Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed the show tonight. Did you guys have a good time watching? I'm just going to get the chat up here on my phone. I know the show is just finishing off right now. So, any questions you got about season one of the Mechnificent Seven, please feel free to ask away. I will talk about a few things that we are working on coming for the upcoming summer, into the fall, and into next year. So, one of the things that has been asked a few times has been questions about a season two. Season two for the Magnificent Seven has been greenlit, and we will begin filming that hopefully in the middle of June. That would give Jesse and myself enough time, hopefully, to get you guys a 10 to 12 episode season edited and ready for release at Gen Con. Don't quote me on that, but that would be the rough game plan. We'd like to get that out before the end of the summer, and then hopefully, all goes well there. We can go a little farther into the future and talk about a season three, possibly filming at the end of Q3 or Q4 for beginning of next year release. So we thank everybody for their support on this. We had a lot of fun making the first one. The second one's going to bring you some really, really cool things. So, some of the things we're going to do for season two. We filmed the first season here in this in our Battletech studio. We all love our Battletech studio, but with 7 or 8, possibly 9 people in the room at any given time, it gets a little tight. So what we are going to do for season 2, we are going to be filming that in our Dungeons and Dragons studio, or main studio, which is on the other side of the building. It's a little larger, quite larger. A little bit different of a sound system in there. I know we did have some sound headaches with the second last episode of this season. We do apologize for that. It was something we couldn't. We fixed it as best as we could. But obviously, we're not going to leave episode 5 out. So, the show had to carry on.
Show must go on.
In the new not new, but the larger studio, we don't wear mics in there. So that's all freeform audio. We'll be wearing lapel mics possibly, and or using the overhead mic boom system that we have in there. So there'll be a lot more space, not only for the players to be sitting at, but also for different camera angles. So similar to what you've seen here for the first time 2 weeks ago, I'll go over, like, we're gonna have camera angles such as, when we're talking, we have our overhead camera angle. We'll go to that right now. Here we go. So there's our normal standard overhead that everybody's grown accustomed to. We do have a secondary camera that comes in from a three-quarter view, like you're standing beside the table. We do have a table level view now, so that gets you zoomed in right in on the action. And then we have a counterpart to the second camera, which is kind of a three-quarter angle as you were like standing up from the
Yeah.
table, what you would see it from the opposite side. So, our favorite one, or at least my favorite one so far, is this one here. It's a little bit more intimate right up on the action, get some
Yeah,
detail.
I enjoy this one. It's nice to be able to get a little closer to the table, more intimate, and plus makes my miniatures better view for you all to see. So that makes me happy.
And then, of course, this one's really cool. You get everything in
Yeah.
there. Now, of course, we have it angled right now to accommodate this stadium that we built. We'll zoom it out larger for a 4x4 game on this table whenever it is required. So let's go back to the chat screen. So there is that. You'll have those kinds of angles for season 2 of the Magnificent Seven. Spoilers for concepts for Mech 7 season 2. We're going to hold off on for now. Other than you guys are all going to love it. Jesse's come up with a wonderful, wonderful story and plot line. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll kind of leave it at that for now. We might drop some breadcrumbs here and there on social
Yeah.
media leading up to it, and maybe post to get you guys excited for what's to come.
There'll be
Um,
some new mechs to look at too. So
Possibly, yep.
yeah,
There'll be some new
possibly.
mechs in there, right? So we've got coming up right now here in the GTA, as you can see scrolling across for stuff that Fox Network's going to be doing. We are going to be at Anime North coming up on just short of 3 weeks, 19 days.
Yeah.
And because of that, Les and I are a little bit under the gun, mostly Les,
Yeah,
getting
mostly less.
getting some things done. So if you guys follow along in the Aces chat in the CGL Discord, you may have seen that I dropped an image of a game board that had a couple of battleships and an aircraft carrier.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we have successfully completed a frigate and a
Battleship.
well, it's not even a battleship, it's a destroyer.
I think it's technically classed as a cruiser.
Yeah, cruiser.
Cruiser.
So it's a Jorgemund.
Yeah.
Those are built, printed, put together. They need to be a little bit.
Just
I applied a bunch of
refining.
auto body filler in there
Yeah.
to fill in some of the gaps
So
for
some
the
sanding
assembly.
and some refining, I think, and then we're good to start.
And then we're
getting
good to start
done.
painting those. And then hopefully on Tuesday, after 12 days of printing, our 4 foot, 48 or 49
48
inch
inches.
long aircraft carrier, that'll be the centerpiece of the game board, will be
Yeah.
completed for me to begin assembling.
So
And
fingers crossed, the last two pieces were on the printer this morning. I'm always a little anxious when I leave the house, but the learning curve on that thing, if you ever go to print it, is pretty steep. Reach out to me; I'll save you a pile of filament for sure. But yeah, we're gonna get it in Paul's hands Tuesday, and as always, he'll do the assembly, and I'll do the pretty part. So
yeah, so once I get all that put together, sanded down, and hopefully there's not so much
no,
filler
yeah,
I have to use on this one.
yeah,
Les will get it painted up, and then once we got that done, today we were at the local hobby, not the hobby, so we were at Home
Home
Depot
Depot today.
buying some 2x2 tiles so we can generate the foundation, concrete foundations
Mhm.
of a wet naval base. So
Yeah.
we're going to be doing that, and then also we're going to be building a cool dropship pad for that massive basketball-sized dropship that Jesse showed off a couple of weeks ago. That we've got painted in Davian colors. This
Yes.
will all be a part of our Mechnificent 7 scenario that we are going to run at Anime North. That scenario is going to consist of the concept of the Magnificent Seven during the events of Mech Commander 2
See, because I haven't even heard this part, guys. So
are going to be taking part in an attack on some compelling wet navy assets,
nice.
and they are going to be airlifted, and you guys are going to enjoy this one. We're going to try and stream it as a playtest if we can get it all done before the convention. If not, we will absolutely stream it after the
Right.
convention with the cast of the show, where the Magnificent Seven are carried in via tether and aircraft to be dropped onto the deck of the aircraft carrier.
Oh, a la Pacific Rim.
Yeah, kind of the same thing. Yeah, you're going to drop them
Nice.
down onto the aircraft carrier, and then of course fight the Aces decks, which will be controlling all the naval guns and several VTOLs and fun things like that. So it
Crazy.
should be a fun scenario,
Yeah.
especially if we got Tex and Red together playing live, hearing Tex talk about what's going on as he's doing his approach to land on the deck of the carrier. Should be pretty funny.
That should be cool.
So stay tuned for that. Other things we got going on for hobby stuff that we can talk about so far?
Not really. I mean, this month is going to be all about the Anime North table.
Yeah.
We finalized the dock system, and like Paul said, we took our usual shopping as the odd couple and picked our MDF. And,
Yep.
I really think it's going to be all about that this month. I've got a few side things going on, but nothing that's going to take precedence over that table. So
So one of the things that you're going to be seeing is a lot more of less week to week, month to month,
yeah,
year to year here at Six Sides of Gaming. Les in his paint studio, the Underground Painters Desk, are one and apart now with us here at Six Sides and Fox. There's always been a partnership with Fox because Les and I are good friends for years.
yeah.
But now you're going to see Les here on stream with us more,
It's
giving painting tutorials.
actually decades now. I think
Decades, yeah,
almost
yeah.
20 years now between ever since I've known this guy. So
So
ups
yeah,
and downs and fun times. But
yep.
yeah, no, I'm excited. I've never done this. I've never painted online tutorials before. I mean, I've watched 1,000 of them, or probably 10,000. But I really want to make things. Um, I want to demystify a lot of things about painting miniatures, and we're not just, we're going to start with Battletech stuff, but it's going to be driven by the fans. If they want to see me paint something that's preferably not from Games Workshop, then that's great. I'm a big historical guy, Old West, ancient Greece, 13th century medievals. So hopefully, if you are interested beyond that, I really want to spend as much time as you guys want me to have painting with you. I want to take away the big myths about painting mechs and show you how quick and simple it can be. Also, I've been painting for over 40 years now. I don't call myself professional, but there are some people that chose to use that word for me. I've learned a lot of tips and tricks and ways to speed your process up and ways to maintain your equipment, because we all know brushes and airbrushes are so expensive now and things break, and I want to just share any bit of knowledge we have that I have with you guys as a group. Even tonight, if you have a general painting question in the chat, Paul and I'll be happy to answer it. I mean, I taught Paul to paint, so I can teach just about anybody to paint.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly true. And we also will be doing more than mechs. We'll be doing terrain. As you know, I'm a terrain guy. Les is a terrain guy as well.
Yep.
I learned a lot of my tricks doing terrain over the last 10 years from Les.
We used to scratch build. I mean, everything you see that's 3D printed, I would say as little as 10 years ago, Paul and I were scratch building.
Yep.
And some of my historical tables, still to this day, my favorite ones are my scratch builds. My Old West table that we streamed, all those buildings were scratch built back in the day with balsa and love. Now I'm all about 3D printing. I really enjoy it. I think it really takes there's things that you just cannot do without. I mean, even look at the table we have in front of us. These are part of some bleachers here these bleachers were part of a table that we had at, where were we again?
This Anime North Halloween party.
Oh, it was Anime North Halloween, and I basically did a ruined baseball stadium. So that was a really fun project. Paul's really pushed it to the limit with this naval base. It's probably the biggest thing we've ever done. Certainly some of the biggest things I've ever attempted to print. I also can help with 3D printing questions. I had to take those files and cut them into pieces and
Yeah, when you're making big terrain pieces like that, it's always cool to see somebody post a picture of it online and go, "Oh wow, I want to do that too." It's not as easy. Like I said or touched on earlier, like we're putting it together. Like unless you have an industrial size FDM printer, you're not printing it in one shot.
right.
So
I mean, it was built for a printer that would be probably
the size of this
the
table.
footprint of the half of this table for sure. So we had to take all those files and I had to cut them down to fit on a regular, any cubic printer. I use Vipers myself. I prefer them. But yeah, and filament costs a fortune these days. We all know everything costs more. I don't want to use the bad T word, but we all know those are coming. So, anything I can do to help you save money and cut out the issues with things like that, we can certainly look at those if you're interested in it too. So
Cheap and cheerful is the way we like to do our hobby stuff. We like to scratch build, obviously, as Les touched on. We like to make as much of it as possible ourselves, or at least take things that are very cost efficient and then spruce them up in the ways that we know how to do that. Evening, Corindy, looks good. Goblin, how are you doing tonight? Galactico, hey, thank you for watching season 1. We appreciate it. We had a lot of fun doing that, as I touched on earlier on the beginning of the stream. Season 2 is definitely coming, guys. Again, mid-June we are targeting to film it. I will let you know one little secret. We are attempting to get everybody here in the studio for that shoot. Okay, so we're trying to have it so we don't have any remote players. We are working diligently on it. Well, I'm working diligently on it to try and make that happen for you guys. So hopefully I can make it so, and that way you can get to see everybody at the table having a lot of fun. We'll probably begin with Les's painting stuff shortly after Anime North, which is the last weekend of May, so beginning of June.
Yeah, I want to commit to at least one a month during the summer. Anyone who knows me knows I coach a lot of rep baseball where I'm from in Brampton, so summers are really busy for me. So I'm committing to one, possibly 2 a month. We're talking about what night a week we're going to shoot it on. Paul's created us a great space to shoot it in. So, we're definitely, and to be honest, guys, I'm really looking forward to seeing what I can do with some of those Gothic mechs. I'm really interested in playing with them. I may never play as much as I love because I paint so much, but I am a huge fan of this game as well as many other games I do play. I'm not as good a player as I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to touching on those Gothic.
So one of the people I didn't mention as well that does do terrain here, as I saw Andrews in there, the table at Adepticon, that was created, hand built by Josh Dirksen, the creator of Battletech Aces. Yeah. Josh is also a very talented painter and a very talented terrain maker. So full credit there. That was all Josh. He even made some of that stuff out of like the packaging from some of the other games that Lynn Vander has designed, Snapships and whatnot. It was just literally the packaging, and he's taken it to the next level, made some really cool buildings. He made some very cool not banners, but billboard signs where he printed off artwork and then put them in there. Like it was really well done. I really enjoy that city
that
board.
Banner stuff in the opening shots from
That's correct.
From Mechnificent 7, and I was super impressed.
Yeah.
They look great.
So once or twice a month is going to be the game plan with getting Les out here and giving you guys painting tips. That'll be him and myself doing that in the new hobby studio. So the hobby studio, I've mentioned a couple times, it's where I literally sit and build and paint a lot of the stuff that you see here. That is done by me. I've mounted a couple of camera mounts in there, so when Les comes in, we have the proper lighting set up now. We can begin filming that while he's giving you guys some tutorials. We'll start off hopefully with the Battletech Gothic miniatures that we have here at the studio. They are a little bigger, so they'll be a little bit easier to work with on the camera, especially for painting.
Yeah, and you guys will have to bear with me too, because I've never painted online. I've never painted streaming or being videotaped, so it's going to be a bit of a learning curve for me too. But hopefully we get there quickly. So the feedback will be important too when I start doing these for Paul and Six Sides.
Les, bring your mic a little closer to your there. Yeah, there you go.
Is that better?
So
sorry guys, I'm not a very powerful talker as a rule. So.
He's a low talker. He's from the Seinfeld episode.
He's the
low talker.
I'm a chef by trade, so I speak in this voice because then people have to listen to me clearly.
So Galacto, to answer your question, that's not something I can actually answer because I don't work for Catalyst Game Labs in that capacity. But you ask if there will be a Mech 7 Force Pack. I hope there will be a Mech 7 Force Pack. I will do everything in my power to see that there is a Mech 7 Force Pack. I'm sure Tommy's going to push for that pretty hard too. Yeah. So hey, we can hope. Would be awesome. I would be thrilled. I would be honored if that happened.
Yeah.
That'd
be great.
I can't say yes or no on that. All I can say is, hey, if the question comes up, I'll put my hand up and vote yes. Okay. Hopefully you guys can hear Les a little bit. Now, if you guys got any more questions for us, feel free. We'll stick around for another 5 or 10 minutes unless the chat gets flying here. Anything else you guys want to see from Fox Network in the near future? We do plan on being at a Gen Con with the Lynn Vander guys, at least myself, for now. And then possibly PAX West as well.
Fan Expo.
And Fan Expo will be there for sure. That scrolls across the bottom of the screen there.
Oh
But
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
some of the newer things, I talked to Tommy about. He asked if I'd be able to go to PAX West, so that's a possibility that I'll be out there in Seattle. That'll make it for a busy August for me.
Yeah.
Gen Con dates are wrong. Yeah, it's the 31st. I got to adjust it on the uh, on the ticker there. But yeah, Gen Con would be us doing streaming most likely. Depending, maybe I'll bring a table. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what's going on. It's not easy to travel with that much stuff.
No, we were talking about that before we came on screen. That you know, the travel alone, just when we drive 2 hours with this stuff, is it's scary. It disturbs us. Like even to pack it up and take it just to Anime North, we're already talking about how we're going to get those ships there in one piece, and because you're talking about a 4 foot piece of terrain, so it's going to have to get packed up pretty hard. Um, I'm actually hoping to go to Adepticon next year. No promises, but I've never been, so it's on my bucket list for before I turn 65.
Well, today we were over picking up supplies for that, and a lot of consideration went into just how we can travel with the stuff before we even build it,
Yeah.
and what's the easiest way to do it. I see a lot of tutorials online. I'm not criticizing anybody. Everybody likes using pink foam and likes using different types of things like that. And while that's great when you keep it at home, when it gets as much use as our
Yeah.
stuff does, traveling from store to store, convention to convention, it's got to be durable and it's got to be travel worthy
Yeah.
and not take up that much space. So you got to figure out ways in the design, not only how cool it looks and how it's painted, but how are you going to pack it up? To touch on that city board that Josh built, when Josh built it, it packs well. Like he had that entire board in
Yeah.
one tub, and it made it easy for him to pack and travel with. And that stuff is very durable. It's
Yeah.
not fragile foam. It's a lot of plastic
There's
and
a
whatnot.
huge jump from the way I made terrain, the way Paul and I made terrain over the years when we were playing at home, and I know it's going to be in my home safe. There's a huge jump and learning curve there too. About now I have to pack this up, put it in bins, try to take it somewhere, and watch all the little hands.
Yes.
The little hands get they give you the willies when they see when you
Yeah.
see the little hand. Because the reality is it looks beautiful, but nobody fully understands at a convention or a tournament, how many hours actually went into something like this, and that's part of the durability that we have to consider when we build something.
Well, and we also too, we don't do a lot of gaming conventions.
No.
A lot of the conventions that we at Fox have done over the last 4 years have been nerd culture conventions. So when Les has little hands, literally we have a lot of children interacting with the board.
Yep.
And of course, kids that are under 10 years old, they're not gonna. They see cool stuff. They think it's a toy. They don't understand. So we have to make sure everything we do, from the miniatures we paint to the terrain we build, and plus we have Henny here, and he's the destroyer of worlds.
I have no comment. Henny's never destroyed any of mine. Henny, I'm on your
we have to take into account when we do stuff. So
Yeah.
we really try to think things through. Sometimes you have to sacrifice cool for practical,
for
right?
practical, exactly. I mean, and I do other conventions and things for other gaming companies, and I always wince. I did a demo the other day and there was things broken, and that's part of the game. It's going to happen. So, like Paul said, it's about the durability. We have to make sure that what we take is going to still be good on the third day of a convention for people to see. So
Yeah.
we can't live and play in a world of fear.
So
unfortunately.
Andrew, just to give you an idea, so yes, Josh's city board is a custom designed game mat that he designed himself and then had manufactured. What we're going to do for the naval base, we are going to use 2 game mats, but we don't just want to put two game mats together and call it a day. We don't want to put like a city block or concrete one and then the water one. So what we're going to do for our board is we're going to have a grass mat like this one, 6x4. It's going to be a big board. This is going to be an 8x6 board, everybody. Okay, it's going to be huge. So we're going to have a 6x4 grass board. We are going to have a 6x4 water mat, and then to build the docks. What we did tonight is we went and picked up a couple of was it
2x2 by quarter-inch
MDF boards to actually put down and then paint and texture to be the concrete portions of the spaceport and leading into the docks, which will 3D print the dock pieces.
And the spaceport will get 3D printed and put on top.
That's right.
Of one 2x2 section for that big basketball beast.
Yeah, along with a variety of different terrain that we have already that we use, along with these giant battleships, and of course we'll use like things like trees and all that fun stuff along the areas that are not covered with concrete. So that all is part of the, we can't just roll it up and put it in a little travel bag and in the back of the truck, right? We've got tiles that we're going to be bringing with us. We want to make sure those tiles are durable. What else we got here? Love the terrain, pulling the historical crowd for inspo. Yes, yeah. So like Les, as he mentioned, loves his historical games more so than me. That's not really my thing, but
I try, but it's not Paul's thing. If it's not Battletech, it's not Paul.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my favorite expression. I'm going to get shirts made for you all.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I mean, I try to broaden his horizons, and he smacks the ball back to me, so it's no big deal. But yeah, I draw a lot from historical. I love historical gaming and skirmish gaming, small games.
Yeah.
I'm too old anymore to paint 300 miniature armies, to put it bluntly.
So one of the things we are going to do here in this studio for our regular streams, I am going to install a Lazy Susan. So let's go to, if you can go to the overhead here, actually. So I go to the overhead. So you can see we got a 4x4 game board that we use regularly in the studio. I am actually going to mount this. You can see me peeling it up here, but underneath I am going to put a 4x4 MDF board on a Lazy Susan. That way we can rotate the game board while we're playing. So it'll provide for a bunch of different angles that we normally wouldn't have on stream for that, but it'll make things a lot cooler and more accessible, where we don't have to keep standing up all the time to reach something or measure something. So we're just gonna spin the board around, and it'll make things a lot more accessible. Functional is the word I got. The other thing we're going to be doing is, as you can see, obviously we all use, in the streaming world, we use stream decks. As long as the supercomputer that we've got running this thing will allow it, I am going to give a stream deck to Jesse when he's here regularly, or if it's Les or Tommy, I'll let Tommy have his own stream deck on the other side of the table. So that way it doesn't just fall on me or whoever's hosting the show to change things like camera angles or adding in special effects, all that fun stuff. Kermendi, what do you got here? I have a 4x4 plywood board that I'm going to be playing myself, mounting as something to rotate. Yeah, Lazy Susan. I'll say this. Be cost effective about it. I have found a lot of stuff on social media marketplaces that are used. And like somebody's going to sell, like a 15-inch diameter Lazy Susan cutting board for like $10. Like literally some liquid nails or a couple of wood screws all the way through your MDF board, and boom, for $10 you've got a cool rotating game board, right? Think outside the box when it comes to this kind of stuff, because hey, less is more, right? Right. So,
I am more.
So other things we're going to be doing before we wrap up here today. Obviously, we talked about the conventions. We do have the painting show that's going to be coming up. It hasn't been titled yet. We'll probably call it Underground Painter's Desk of some sort along there.
We haven't even talked about that.
No, we haven't got that far yet. And then we got 2 new Fox Network shows coming. One will be a relaunch of something that we used to run, which is called Battlecom Unity. It's going to be a podcast style talk show that we will do during the week. It will not be necessarily an in studio production. It'll help keep, make it easier on everybody to do it routinely from home. So myself, yes, I'll be doing it from the studio, but like Henny and Joe, Jesse will be doing it remotely. We'll have other panel guests on there on a regular basis, and it'll be a continuation of that show. We'll be starting that up hopefully by June, end of June, and then we got another show called Fox Network Presents, and that is going to be a 30-minute post-production series that's not live streamed. It's going to be us in the studio playing our own 3 to 4 scenario vignette mini campaigns, and we are going to record that. The concept behind this is going to be, lack of a better description, what was it? Science Fiction Theater 2000 or Mystery Theater 2000.
Science Mystery Theater.
Yeah, where
Mystery
we got
Theater.
like a Stadler and Waldorf couple of characters in the future.
We're gonna comment
Yeah,
over the
we're
top of
we're
the
gonna be
vignette.
doing commentary over our own gameplay. So the idea
Nice.
would be ripping ourselves to shreds while we are playing
While
BattleTech,
we're
and
rolling
do it
very
so you guys can
poorly.
have some comedic
That'll be fun.
yeah, so that will all be narrative gameplay. It will all be a mixture of aces and classic, and of course we will be using as much classic in there as we can with the
Right.
aces deck to stress test it for you guys who out there who love playing classic Battletech as well. Thomas, thank you for joining. Galactical, thank you. Hey, we appreciate it. This is how we give back to the community, that we all have, gotten things from over the years. It helps fill our time. It keeps us out of trouble. It helps us make friends. I know I
Yeah.
wouldn't be friends with Les if I wasn't a gamer. That's how we met.
No, I agree. We met in one of those great Games Workshop stores.
Yep.
A long time ago, and
Yeah.
it built from there. So
Like I wouldn't know Tommy if it wasn't for all of this, right? We've become
and
great friends. I wouldn't know Josh.
I wouldn't know Tommy and Josh and those guys,
Yeah.
and they're great people to know. And I introduced. It's all about relationships now, right?
The entirety, just to get so everybody understands here, the entirety of the inner crew or the leadership group of Fox Network, Henny, myself, Les, Michael, Scott, of course Jesse, and Austin, none of us knew each other at all
No.
without gaming. I literally met all of them except for this gentleman here through creating Fox Network, and they came out and played
Yeah.
Battletech. All of them, and we all became very close friends. And I hope
I
Battletech can
think
do
some
that.
of them actually used to come to our Saturday night games.
Yeah,
Didn't that? Is that
yeah,
how we started?
yeah.
Because this all started with us playing at Paul's on a Saturday night, and we used to play marathon 10, 12-hour, 10,000 plus point company versions of Classic.
Yes, yes. So, Battletech is a game of building bonds and friendships and having fun with stompy robots.
Yeah.
With that said, we again thank you for loving season 1 of the Mechnificent 7. Thank you for the support. Please remember to like and subscribe. We are growing rapidly. Everything that comes into the studio gets put back into the studio. Bigger, better productions each and every time out. We do thank you again for your patience for the episode 5 audio issues. I am learning, so is Les. We're all learning
Yep.
here. We're gamers first, and we're now learning how to do this wonderful hobby within the hobby. So,
Yeah.
hey, exciting times. We recommend all of you out there come out and try it, have fun, and we all look forward to the release of Aces when that hopefully gets announced in the incoming time. That's already been discussed a few different possible dates. So let's get out there, support BattleTech, support your local community. Monday nights we are at Sir Games a Lot in Barrie with Henny, Joe, and Goose running the game up there. Wednesday nights, Jesse, Austin, and Scott are at Harry Tarantulas at Young and Lawrence in downtown Toronto. That is a fairly big game. That's about 15 to 18 people every Wednesday night from 5:30 to close. The guys up in Barrie are running close to 15 people as well.
Yeah.
We do have a game that has started up regularly with some of the locals at the round table here in Guelph, Ontario. So So if you're in that Kitchener-Waterloo area, get out there and enjoy some Battletech. I'd like to say...
Josh's games.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Josh has got a game in London at the Game Chamber.
Yep.
If you want to get live there and play with the creator of Aces, get out there. I think it's on Thursday nights, I believe.
It's Thursday.
Thursday nights at the Game Chamber in London. And, of course, Les is here with us as much as possible. Be on with us for our streams in the coming future with painting tutorials, terrain tutorials, and, of course, watching me beat him playing Battletech.
Yes, because Paul always beats me. If you like what I do, go ahead. I'm on Instagram at Underground Painter's Desk. Join, questions, anything you want, let me know.
Alrighty, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you again for coming out. We will see you next Sunday here on Aces Live.